Good morning, everyone. It's Tuesday, December 12th, 2017, and I hope everyone is having a beautiful day in the Lord. People, I want to talk to you today about what's going on in the world. Ever since Donald Trump recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, it created a firestorm with all these countries. And, you know, what Donald Trump did, what he said wasn't Bible prophecy, but what he did is triggering Bible prophecy to occur in Zechariah. I just want to read this for those of you, especially people on Facebook who claim to be Christians and Catholics, but they don't read their Bible, okay? And they don't really understand biblically what is happening in the world and how close we are to tribulation, okay? If you noticed, when Donald Trump made that announcement, it created all this hostility and anxiety in the nations to rise up everywhere against what he said, even though the presidents of the United States before him declared the same thing, but just never carried it through, see? So, you know, all the other presidents were appeasing the nations, but Donald Trump followed through on his campaign promise, and so he's just following through on what he said he would do. And he hasn't even built anything yet. This is just a declaration that's already been professed before him, okay? But this has created a firestorm now because of the time that we're living in. And this is happening to bring upon the rapture of the church and the tribulation. This is how close we are. Okay. I'm reading from Zechariah chapter 12 from verse 2 down. And it says, "Behold, I will make Jerusalem a cup of trembling unto all the people round about, when they shall be in the siege, both against Judah and against Jerusalem. And in that day I will make Jerusalem a burdensome stone for all people. All that burden themselves with it shall be cut in pieces, though all the people of the earth be gathered together against it." Now you see, everybody is coming up against Israel and this Jerusalem being the capital. And people have become obsessed with it to the point of rage. Now this is the Lord. The Lord is bringing these people to this place where they are going to come up against Israel. The Lord is navigating these countries to go against Israel, because when they make their move, he's going to cut them in half, because Israel and Jerusalem belong to God. That is his piece of the earth with his name on it. Out of all the places in the globe, he chose that as his little piece with to put his name on it. And because this is the Father's and Satan runs the world, Satan has gotten into all these people, these kings of all these countries, and wants to take it from the Father, because he's jealous of the Father and he wants to be the Father. He wants to be God, but he's not, because we know the end from the beginning, see? In that day, saith the Lord, I will smite every horse with astonishment, and his rider with madness, and I will open my eyes upon the house of Judah, and will smite every horse of the people with blindness. So basically, the Lord is going to blind them from the truth and fuel their rage to go after Israel, and then he will cut them down. And the governors of Judah shall say in their heart, the inhabitants of Jerusalem shall be my strength in the Lord of hosts their God. In that day will I make the governors of Judah like a hearth of fire among the wood, and like a torch of fire in a sheaf. And they shall devour all the people round about, on the right hand and on the left hand, and Jerusalem shall be inhabited again in her own place, even in Jerusalem. So basically, you see, they're not going to win. They're going to attempt this, but they're going to be destroyed. This is destruction, is the beginning of tribulation, people. When the Lord goes, the church is taken out of the way through the rapture, and then the Lord focuses his attention on bringing the Jews to their knees to accept God and the Messiah. It's Jacob's trouble. You see it. You see it starting to begin. This is what I want to point out to you, where we are in biblical history. This prophecy is being fulfilled as we speak. The Lord shall also save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah. So basically, when they emerge victorious against these other countries that are coming up against them, the Lord will not allow them to become enamored with themselves that they did it themselves. So he'll keep their egos in check. In that day the Lord shall defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, and the angel of the Lord before them. And it shall come to pass in that day, I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. We see everybody is coming against Jerusalem, but they're all going to be destroyed. And where will you be? I'm talking about you now, living in America and in other places in the country, okay, or in the world. You that are not in the Middle East, where are you in your walk with Jesus Christ? Because this is about to go down. And I will pour upon the house of David and upon the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and the supplications, and they shall look upon me, who they have pierced, and they shall mourn for him, as one mourneth for his only son, and shall be in bitterness for him, as one that is in bitterness for his firstborn. Okay, so this is the Lord now dealing with Jerusalem, who rejected the Messiah. I'm not going to read any more because it's enough. Okay? You need to come to the Lord Jesus Christ, because if you don't, people, and the church is removed, and tribulation falls, and World War III breaks out, and the Lord intervenes, okay, you're going to be stuck here through it. You'll have another chance, but you'll be here. You'll be here through martial law. You'll be here through confiscation of everything. Because once martial law falls upon America, you should go into USA.gov and read a little bit about the rights that the government has when they declare martial law. And they can declare martial law anytime they want. And the Constitution goes out the window. I told you about in 1950, there were 50 corporations that owned everything in the world, and now there's only 6 That means they have control over our food supply, over our water supply, over everything. Okay? So if they own everything, they can confiscate what we have, and they can distribute it as they see fit, and they can capture you, and you will become property of the government. Do you want that to happen to you? Do you think that that's impossible because you're so self-centered in this world and obsessed with tradition that you can't see the writing on the wall and the writing in the Bible? I'm warning you, people. I'm warning you to tell you what is about to happen, and you need to get right with God, and you need to accept his son, Jesus Christ. There's very little time left. I'm going to put the salvation prayer right behind this. Please don't click off. Please consider coming to the Lord with sincerity and a sorrowful heart. Okay? And then pray that you're worthy enough to escape all that there is to come. I love you. Jesus loves you. Don't click off. Follow along. God bless.